It's like my favourite of that is me getting in the car. So like if I'm independently getting in my car, I kind of have to like. So people find it really weird. One of my things is I didn't want a WAV because it was just I didn't need one. I wanted the flexibility of having a normal car and everything else. One of the things that comes along with that is the way I get into the car is a little bit convoluted because essentially what I have to do if I'm going to something where I need my wheelchair, I have my walking frame next to me in the car because it's the easiest one to put on the passenger seat. Then I walk around to the boot, sit near the boot, sort of balance myself, pull the wheelchair out, unfold the wheelchair, sit in the wheelchair, put my frame away. But there is a small bit of it where I'm like wedging myself in the corner and it just about looks like I'm going to fall over and looks like I'm really going to injure myself because I'm trying to pick up this wheelchair at the same time. To this day, touch wood, never fallen over. But to everyone else, the amount of times I get people come, you sure you're okay? Yes, I'm fine. Are you sure? Yes, leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm not screaming out for help. I'm all right. It sounds like me though, because I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user. So I currently don't have a WAV. I've been waiting for one for about 2 years. That's an entire other story. But yeah, so I have my wheelchair in the boot. So I'll get like my crutches and my walking stick, kind of depending what day it is. Sometimes I'll just like walk around holding onto the car, get around to the boot and then I'll lift my wheelchair out. It's not something I can do all the time because, various reasons. But I lift my chair out and you can see people just looking over thinking she's going to do herself an injury. And I have done a few times. I scraped my shins as I've like let the wheelchair down my legs, that kind of thing. So that's like an emergency situation only. And I could say to somebody like, excuse me, could you help? But then I'm like, I've seen the way people handle other people's wheelchairs and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I'm also too proud. The worst thing with me is I will only ask for help if I truly need it. Other than that, I will suffer. I will be absolutely fine. I will break my arm nearly doing something. But nah, it's fine. I'll just suffer through. It's true British things. I got a couple of friends that are from overseas, and one of my favourite things we noticed about British people is we say sorry all the time. And also, we're too proud to do situations. We're too proud to say anything. So something will go horribly wrong, like your food's wrong or something's wrong, but it has to go horribly wrong before a British person goes, actually, I have a problem. Most of us will go, no, it's all right. I'll manage. It's fine. Don't worry. It's not a problem. And actually, it's a really big problem.
Yeah, it is weird. But I think though as well, so there is that British thing about asking for help. But I think that's probably, in my case anyway, like a bunch of internalized ableism. I'm not going to lie. So because I'm the first person to say to anyone else, accept the help you need. Just ask if you need support. And I'm like coming out with all this wisdom about living your best disabled life. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting my own wheelchair out of my car, and there's like 3 people have offered help, and I'm like, no, I will do it myself. And it's so ridiculous, and I know it's ridiculous, but it's undoing all that. It's like a lot.
I think there's a couple of things though. There's the thing of one is the whole, like I say, we all are like, no, we don't want to cause an inconvenience to anyone else. But then there's also an element of, there is part of me that always has there's one bit I want help with. So it might be, say for example, it's getting my wheelchair out the car. After the wheelchair's out the car, leave me the hell alone. I don't need help with it. That's the worst thing. It then turns into this whole thing of, oh, do you want me to push you to the pub? Do you want me to take you over here? No, just.
Yeah, I want help on my terms.
Yeah. Or the other thing is, I just attract weirdos. That is my other issue. I will probably ask someone for help, and it just turns into this strange person that's just like, what am I? All I did was ask for someone's help, and then here I am with this person deep diving into my relationship status, what's going on in my life. Why haven't I had an existential crisis? It just turns into this whole thing, and I'm like, all I asked was help with my wheelchair. That's all I asked to do. I didn't even ask to be interrogated.
There is as well. There is that thing of I've helped you. Now I want you to help me in some way, or I want some information from you, because I often find as well. It's I'll help you with that, and then it's so what happened to you? And you're like,
yep.
No, just please don't.
My personal favourite is the people just ask unsolicited questions, and I'm very much an open book. So like, I'm very much of the view of like I'd rather answer absolutely everything, but sometimes you just sit there and go, "What?" Like I had one guy. I was at a bar. We were on a proper tangent here. We will go on to the proper podcast in a second. We went on a real tangent, but here we go.
Yeah.
I was in a bar, and this guy comes up to me. He's like a long lost friend of like someone else I was with. Anyway, he comes up to me, older gentleman. I say older, he was just older than me. And he comes up to me and essentially goes, "So how are you not clinically depressed?" And I'm like, And this whole thing started with me going, "Do you want me to? Do you want? I'm getting another drink. Do you want another drink?" That's how the whole conversation started. I was just trying to be polite. I was like, and then it was literally like, so yeah. Well, how are you not? And I'm sitting there drinking my beer, going, I think I'm going to need a couple more of these.
Yes. I think I am clinically depressed now, thanks.
Yeah. And the worst thing was he kept coming like, so I've sort of, Gina was with me, I explained what happened, she's like, what the hell? And anyway, so this guy then comes back and asks further questions around that topic. And I'm like, dude, like, what do you want me to say? I'm sorry that I'm quite chipper. Like,
I'm sorry I don't fit your narrative of what a disabled person
yeah.
should be like.
I just love that, like, why aren't you really sad?
It's just,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I really wanted to turn around and be like, mate, you just caught me on a really good day. I'm just really buzzed. Like,
You should have.
I just literally, this is what I mean when I say attract weirdos. So there's that story, and I'll do one more just to show full context. So like, they're not single scenarios. The other one, I was away in Copenhagen for my friend's wedding.
Yeah.
Now, so lovely group of friends. Like two of the guys were brilliant photographers. So they're all taking photos of everyone. They've gone up to me and Gina like, "Oh, guys, do you want some pictures?" Like, yeah, we'll get some pictures. So me and Gina, I'm all suited and booted. Gina's in a lovely dress, and anyway, so she's taking pictures. They're very good pictures. And then this German guy comes over, like not part of our group, but part of the group that we were with were also German. Yeah, a German guy comes over and he's like, "Oh, like a fabulous couple, da da da." And the worst thing is, me and Gina get this all the time. Both being ginger and being a couple is the strangest thing on the planet. So we're like, fine. This guy's just like, "Yeah, great couple." And then he goes to me like, "Oh, can I get a picture of you two kissing?" And I'm like, classic example of British people not wanting to say no to someone. So me and Gina are like, "Do you know what? Yeah, okay, fine." So we did that. He's taking a picture. It's a very good picture, to be fair. Very good picture, which he then sent airdrop to one of our friends. Absolutely fine. So then we're like, okay, that was a bit of a strange experience. Carried on. And then anyway, he's like, "Oh, congratulations." And we're both like, not our wedding day, but also we're too British to be like, "I don't want to burst your bubble. I really don't. I just don't want to do it." And then so we're like, "Oh yeah, thank you." And then we carry on and walk over to the bride and groom, and he starts like swearing and all sorts in German and like cursing us, and he basically doesn't realise that half of our crew are German, so they're all cracking up laughing, and. And then it gets worse. So then this guy disappears for about an hour. And then me and Gina are walking back to the cars to travel back to the venue where the party's happening. And this German guy, and I get more pictures on like a field. And this German guy comes up to me again, goes, "Oh, can I get a picture of your girlfriend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, sure." And then he's like, "Can I get a picture with your girlfriend so I can send it to my wife and tell her that this is my new wife?" And I'm like, "All right, okay." So then, before I've had a chance, Gina's like, "Oh, let's just do it. Get out of the way. Let's just do it." I'm like, "Okay, fine." Anyway, so I've got my friends, the groom's like best friend. He's great. He's so much fun. I've got him in my ear going, "Should I hit him? Like, he's German. Bear in mind, he's German, and he's just going to me in my ear, going, "It like thought like the worst thing is with Kim. He's got he watched a lot of English and American telly, so like his accent is brilliant, and he's just like, do I need to do something? Should I get involved? Should I hit him? What the, like should am I okay to leave you? I feel worried, and I'm like, no, it's fine. Unfortunately, this happens to me and Gina quite, not this specific circumstance, but this strange entity of happening that happens quite a lot. So don't worry, we can cope with it. It's fine. But yeah, it's a prime example of why I don't ask strangers for help, because I just attract strange people like this.
Do you know?
There you go.
You get some funny anecdotes out of it, though, so it might almost be worth it. Do you know, if you feel like you've been repeating the same old anecdotes, you thought I could do with a new one. I'll just ask someone for help.
Yep. It's just, honestly, you just sit there thinking, the amount of situations I look at, like 10 minutes after it happens, and I'm like, oh my God, what just happened?
It just takes a while for it all to hit.
But yeah, so that's why I don't ask strangers for help. Anyway, when it comes to hotels, we're obsessed with bathrooms. Obsessed. But majority of people I've spoken to, they're like, "Oh, I love a good bathroom," but it's like, what is wrong with us? Well, it
really is the difference between am I going to be able to shower or not?
Yes. Yep. But the worst thing is, how many hotels that have these really artsy shots, like it's just the shower head spraying out water, and I'm like, doesn't tell me anything. Like,